Okay, what is up, everyone? Welcome to Happy Football Friday. Um,
You good?
yeah, we need to mute that.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, we are now live on Instagram as well. They have
Ooh,
it's a good time. So yeah, just got to figure out how to do that because you have to click go live on it. Instagram's desktop thing. So I don't know how you can do that, and then I had to mute the site, but it's interesting. We'll figure it out. But a lot of stuff going on. Bowl season, happy bowl season, everyone. Got bowls starting Saturday, which we'll preview those. Got the FCS Semifinals going on tonight and tomorrow. And then we got NFL Week 15 playoff races heating up. We got some playoff berths to get clinched possibly this week. But let's get to it. Last night, great time.
oh yeah.
I was closing out Wolski's, so that was fun. But yeah, anyways, the Raiders 63-21 against Chargers, 42 zip at halftime. Crazy. They were absolutely demolishing them. Record points scored for the Raiders in franchise history, so that was cool. Again, though, I'm like, bro, why don't you just go for it? It's like the Dolphins against the Broncos. Like, go for the record. Come on. Because they had 63 with quite a bit of time left in the game, I believe, anyways.
They just needed that scoregami.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
What's
It was a
this one?
scoregami.
That's weird, but because it's a nice, even touchdown scores. Yeah, they got 63 with 14:30 to go in the fourth quarter. Like, come on. They should have went for it. 10 points. That's all you need, 10 points. And Antonio Pierce, they did not do what he said they were going to do. He said coming out of halftime, they were going to keep their foot on the pedal.
They did in the third.
They scored 14 points.
At that point, you're just trying
they
not
scored
to
21. They scored 21 in the second half. Whatever. But yes, good job by the Chargers to get 21 on them. But yeah, no Justin Herbert, no Keenan Allen. It was rough. Easton Stick started, first career start, 23 of 32, 71.9%, 257, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, 2 carries, 11 yards, and 2 fumbles. Aiden O'Connell was absolutely fantastic. 20 of 34, 58.8%, 248, 4 touchdowns. Doesn't sound great, the completion percentage anyways, but obviously 4 touchdown passes. No Josh Jacobs for Vegas either. So Zamir White got the bulk of the carry, 17 carries, 69 yards, touchdown, 3 catches, 16 yards. Leading the way on the ground for Zeus. And Chargers wide receiver Josh Palmer, he went over 100, led the game in receiving. 4 for 113, a touchdown on 4 targets. I was going to start him, and then I didn't, and he scored 21 points, which was great. I didn't know how he was going to play coming off IR. No Justin Herbert. Like, I think it was the right decision. Devontae Adams also over 108 catches, 101 yards, touchdown, 12 targets there. 2 touchdown night for the rookie out of Cincinnati, Trey Tucker. 3 catches, 59 yards, 2 touchdowns on 4 targets. A bunch of other guys scoring touchdowns there. Defensively, the bottom 3 guys Raiders corner Jack Jones, the former Patriot draft pick, 5 tackles, 4 solos, 1 pass deflection, 16-yard pick six. Vegas defensive end Malcolm Kuntz, 3 tackles, all of them solos, 2 sacks, 3 tackles, 3 QB hits. He was a monster coming off the right side all night, or the left side, I should say, right defense. But and then how about the big man, defensive tackle John Jenkins, 1 tackle and a 44-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown.
He was moving.
He got him 17 miles an hour.
I saw that.
Yeah.
That's genuinely impressive for like a 300-plus player in all those pads.
He was pissed. He wanted to get to 20. But yeah, so the Raiders -3.5 covered easily. Oh, and by the way, the over hit almost threefold.
Didn't the over get hit in like the first quarter?
Yeah, 36.5. Yeah.
Again, I texted you during this game. This is a Raiders team that got shut out 4 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is nuts.
Yeah, they scored the second most points in NFL history coming off of a shutout. The number one was the Philadelphia Eagles. They scored 64 against the Browns in like 89, I want to say, or something like that. But yeah, let's get to college football news. So this is the stupidest thing to start out with, but the Florida Attorney General is launching an investigation into the CFP selection committee's decision to leave Florida State out of the college football playoff. Like, it is the dumb. There's no rhyme or reason. It makes no sense. It's stupid. It's dumb.
It's more just political posturing. It's something to go, hey, elect me. Remember when I stood up for Florida State? Our boys.
Again, like what can you possibly charge them with? I think they're looking into collusion issues, but whatever. It's stupid. Stop crying about it. Like,
listen, I get it. It sucks. It's a very rare situation where an undefeated team in a Power 5 division doesn't make the playoffs. But there are genuine extenuating circumstances that voters probably looked at and said, I really take this seriously. Like only scoring 16 points against Louisville, losing your top flight quarterback, and just having a schedule that wasn't really world beating played a big role. And those are legitimate standards that BCS voters are allowed to use.
Well, I don't care. I don't care about the schedule. And they're like, well, you know, this is an issue because the committee is looking at predictive football versus what actually has occurred. And yeah, you want to put the best games on the field in the college football playoff. And again, it's the best 4 teams, not the most deserving. Alabama right now, as much as I hate Alabama, they are a better team than Florida State is.
I would say that. Yeah, I would agree.
Florida State, without Jordan Travis, is not going to beat any of the 4 teams that are in.
Yeah. Could you, like, I would say this to Florida State fans. Could you say with a straight face that a Jordan Travis-less Florida State team could beat Alabama?
No.
Or Georgia. Or even Georgia. Like, no.
Like, I understand. FSU's defense is probably top 10 in the country. I don't know exactly where they rank. Their defense is fantastic. As we saw on the ACC championship game, only holding Louisville to 6 points. But you can't just play defense against these teams that are in the playoff. So, yeah.
Michigan has a fantastic defense as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think all of them, all 4 of them have really good defenses. But they also have high-powered offenses, at least Washington and Texas do. Alabama and Michigan's more of a grinded-out type of situation. But anyways, stupid.
Again, I'm looking forward to that Orange Bowl where Florida State plays Georgia. Like, honestly, God, Florida State is probably going to get killed. And it's just going to be proof. Like you and I are going to have the conversation after the Orange Bowl and be like, yep, we're going to say it on the show. Yep, Florida State just got trounced by Georgia. It's going to look like the Georgia TCU national championship game from last year. And we're going to look at each other and be like, yeah, we were right on this. Like, I don't know what they were trying to argue here.
Well, that's what the CFP's praying for.
I don't see a way that Georgia loses that game, even if like Brock Bowers doesn't play or big players don't play.
They already lost a lot on the defensive side of the portal, but anyways, speaking of the portal, laundry list of guys here talking about visits, commitments, and entering the portal or withdrawing. Toledo quarterback Daquan Finn, he visited with Baylor. Houston defensive lineman Jamari Caldwell, he is in the portal. Mississippi State running back Jaquavius Marks visiting USC Washington. Notre Dame wide receiver Rico Flores Jr., he visited UCLA. San Diego State tight end Mark Redmond, he has committed to Louisville. And I'll say this, Jeff Brom is putting together a absolutely fantastic portal class right now. He has people believing in Louisville football, and I mean, we'll see what happens by the time that next season rolls around, but he's got me believing in Louisville football too, because they got the ACC title game this year. If they can just improve on the offensive side of the football, I mean, there's no stopping Louisville. Minnesota quarterback Ethan Kaliak-Manis, he visited Rutgers. Georgia edge rusher Marvin Jones Jr. visiting Florida State. Arkansas running back Rocket Sanders, he is committed to South Carolina. Good get for Coach Beamer down there in Columbia. Utah wide receiver Mikey Matthews, he's visited with Arizona, Boise State, and Kansas State. Coastal Carolina quarterback Grayson McCall, he is on the move. He is committed to NC State. Dave Doran getting a massive portal quarterback there. I'm super hyped for Grayson McCall. I'll be rooting for NC State, I think, most of the year because of I love Grayson McCall. Oklahoma State running back Jaden Nixon, he is in the portal. Duke defensive lineman RJ Oben, he is committed to Notre Dame. Notre Dame, another one that is just cranking portal commitments out right now. Getting Riley Leonard, getting RJ Oben. They got Bo Collins from Clemson as well. So, yeah, they are Marcus Freeman's crew doing a good job there. North Texas wide receiver Jamori Macklin, he is committed to Kentucky. Vanderbilt wide receiver Jaden McGowan, he's committed to South Carolina. Another one for the Gamecocks there. Stanford tight end Ben Urasek, he is in the portal. He is going to be just pounded with offers, I would think. Urasek, massive frame, I think 6'4", 250. Excellent receiver at Stanford, leading receiver last year, I believe. So, yeah, he should receive a lot of offers, I think. Anyone that needs a tight end. Georgia? We have some good ones after Brock, but I would love Urasek. Washington State quarterback Cameron Ward, he's visiting with Florida State and Miami. NC State quarterback MJ Morris, he has committed to Maryland, so there is your possible successor to Talia Tagovailoa. Ohio State quarterback Kyle McCord, he visited Syracuse. Washington State wide receiver Josh Kelly, he's committed to Texas Tech. Big one for Joey McGuire there. Texas quarterback Malik Murphy, he is one of the hottest players in the portal right now. Duke, Baylor, Oregon State, Georgia, Washington, all interested in Malik Murphy. Tantalizing traits there with the dual threat ability and the massive arm, as we saw in his one start this year. I forget who they played in his ones. Baylor?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't either. Florida State linebacker DJ Lundy is in the transfer portal. Kansas State running back Trayshawn Ward, he is committed to Boston College. BC getting some BC getting some good transfers as well. And I believe Coach Halfley, Jeff Halfley there at BC. That's interesting. I when I looked them up, the Wikipedia thing came up, and $3 million a year to be the Boston College. That's okay. Okay, I see you, Coach. That's. I did not think Boston College head coaching job would get you $3 million, but good for him. UCLA tight end Carson Ryan. He is committed to Utah. Oregon State quarterback Aiden Childs following Coach Smith there to Michigan State. He's committed to the Spartans.
All right.
UConn tight end Justin Jolly. He's committed to NC State. So there's a weapon for Grayson McCall there. Alabama wide receiver Ja'Cory Brooks visiting Louisville. Ohio quarterback Curtis Rourke. He is committed to Indiana. So big get in the portal for Coach Allen there and the Hoosiers. 4 other guys visiting Louisville. It's a big weekend in Louisville this weekend for transfer portal and just general regular recruiting class of 2024 as well. Miami running back Donald Chaney, Indiana defensive back Jalen Lucas, South Alabama wide receiver Colin Lacey, and Duke defensive lineman Anais Peebles, all in Louisville this weekend. Coach Prime getting a good one, getting a commitment from Vanderbilt wide receiver Will Shepard. Georgia linebacker Jamon Dumas Johnson, he is in the portal. Florida edge rusher Princely Uman Milan, committed to Ole Miss. Charlotte linebacker Nakai Hill Green, committed to UCF. Solid player for Coach Malzahn there in Orlando. UCLA quarterback Dante Moore, he's visiting Oregon. Auburn quarterback Robbie Ashford is in the portal. Indiana wide receiver Donovan McCauley has withdrawn from the portal. Vanderbilt quarterback A.J. Swan, he visited LSU. And Tennessee defensive back Danico Slaughter, he is committed to Arkansas. Senior Bowl, 2 names to mention, accepting their invites, Penn State corner Johnny Dixon and Notre Dame linebacker J.D. Bertrand. Notre Dame offensive tackle Joe Alt has officially declared for the NFL draft, one of the best left tackles in the game, probably a top 10 pick. Guy that's not going to the draft, Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe, announcing he will return for his senior season at Bama. So no new QB next year for Coach Saban. At one coaching carousel note, San Diego State, they have hired Washington edge coach and special teams coordinator Eric Schmidt as their defensive coordinator. XFL news, some signings. The Arlington Renegades, they signed Oklahoma defensive lineman Jalen Redmond. The Houston Roughnecks signed Arizona wide receiver Stanley Berryhill. The San Antonio Brahmas, they got a massive get signing USFL's Pittsburgh Maulers defensive lineman Boogie Roberts. So Boogie switching leagues until the new league comes out, whenever that is. And then the St. Louis Battlehawks, they re-signed linebacker Carson Wells, excellent player, formerly out of Colorado there. Speaking of the USFL, one re-signing there, the Houston Gamblers, they have re-signed wide receiver Isaiah Zuber. NFL news, I forgot, I should have worn my shirt, my Beer Olympics shirt. Are you coming with us to Brazil next year, Jimmy, or what?
I'll check if my passport's still good.
Because the NFL is going to Brazil. They will be playing a game in Sao Paulo at Corinthians Stadium, something like that. But yeah, I am going. I will be going, hopefully. My friend's Brazilian, so him and I are gone, and we got a free place to stay. I don't know where his family actually lives, but hopefully it's close to Sao Paulo. But yeah, that's cool. And the NFL also announced that in 2025 there will be as many as 8 international games played. So, and that I was thinking about this when I first heard the news of Brazil getting a game. I was thinking the future. Why don't eventually, if we have enough international markets, play one international game each week?
That's a lot of travel.
Yeah. But so the early season international games, right? Those will be close. The early season ones, obviously, you're not going to play Canada because Canada has the CFL. The NFL is not going to go to Canada, but you can play games in Mexico, and you can play games. Um, I mean,
Brazil.
Brazil, yeah, South America is not Europe. Um, I also thought about Hawaii. The only issue is Hawaii. The University of Hawaii doesn't have a big enough stadium. Um, I think they still have Honolulu Stadium though,
I
where
think
they
they're tearing that down.
where they used to play the Pro Bowl. So I mean, if they do still have it though, or whatever, they make a new stadium there. You know, that
Aloha.
would be interesting. Because I know players would love to go back to Hawaii. And I said Hawaii, if we were going to do one in Hawaii, my idea for Hawaii would be strictly divisional game between AFC or NFC West teams, since all 4 of those teams are out there, or you have a game AFC West Chargers Raiders, since those are the 2 of the 4 teams in that division that are out there as well.
Maybe. The only problem is, and the Pro Bowl had this issue for so many years, it's very hard to be marketable in Hawaii for sporting events. Maybe there's a difference if you do an actual NFL game that means something, but it's a very difficult place to be marketable in.
Which doesn't even make sense. Who wouldn't want to go to Hawaii?
That's a lot of traveling. It's surprisingly more than people realize.
But you get there and it's beautiful. I've never been. So I'm not speaking from experience. I just, Anyways. We had Super Bowl 61 location being awarded at the NFL league meetings. It is going to be back in Los Angeles. SoFi Stadium will host Super Bowl 61 in 2027.
Yay.
So the next 3 Super Bowls before that, this year, February 11th, 2024, Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. Next year, Super Bowl 59. That'll be February 9th in New Orleans. And then 2026, February 8th, well, Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara.
The only one I like there is New Orleans because it's. There's the thing about West Coast stadiums. I don't know what it is. They just feel so corporate. Like I really don't like LA Stadium.
It's nice.
It just looks nice. It doesn't feel like a nice stadium.
It was pretty nice inside. It was pretty nice inside. It's interesting atmosphere as well, with the breeze coming in. How about free agent linebacker Rolando McClain? Does that name ring a bell?
An ancient
the number 8, I think, overall selection in the 2010 NFL draft. He has been indefinitely suspended twice. Once 2016 to 2019, and then I believe again in 2020. But he's back. His
It returns.
indefinite suspension has been lifted, and he is now free to sign with any team. um, number 8 overall in 2010 has played with the Raiders, Ravens, Cowboys. Last played in 2015. He's still 34. Got a couple years left. How about your Vikings? Rookie quarterback Jaron Hall will be the backup to Nick Mullins this week. Josh Dobbs to the emergency QB3 spot.
I agree with this. It was very clear for the last like 2.5 weeks that Dobbs was starting to lose confidence in his ability to play QB. I mean, it looked great against the Saints, and it was a miracle we won against the Falcons. But it got kind of clear in the Broncos game, and then basically like after the first quarter of the Raiders, and like the Bears game, and like the first quarter of the Raiders game, it's like this guy just doesn't have that next level you need from a QB. And it's like I'd rather see Jaron Hall be the primary backup, and if Mullins goes down, just see what you have with him. Because at that point, if Mullins goes down, you're just done. It's just like we have 4 QB. We've played 4 QBs this year. Like, just gotta see what sticks.
Yeah, we'll see. Chargers. They've fired head coach Brandon Staley, GM Tom Telesco. After last night, often outside linebackers coach Giff Smith. Excellent name. Giff Smith. He will be the interim head coach. Director of player personnel Jojo Wooden announced as the interim GM there in LA. I mean, it's tough. Brandon Staley has had so many close games, and they just cannot find ways to win them. And then, I mean, it was common. Once I think the Justin Herbert injury was kind of the last thing, like, because going into last night, they still weren't in a bad spot. Granted, it was a very difficult spot, 2 games out of the playoffs, 4 games left, but it's possible, especially because they were at the top of the 5 and 8 teams. But yeah, and once Justin Herbert's injury got announced, said he was out for the year, I think the players kind of just lost it, and they knew they weren't gonna have a chance. Like, they've seen Easton Stick in practice. Like, they know he's not Justin Herbert. So, and I think the Tom Telesco thing, that one I don't have as big of an issue with. I mean, I don't really have a big issue with Staley's firing based off the results on the field, but results on the field happened sort of because Tom Telesco couldn't get a good enough players around Justin Herbert. Like, the offensive line has still not totally come together. Now they have found good defensive players in Bosa and Khalil Mack and Derwin James. But it's always been about the offense. They just cannot figure out how to get this team set around Herbert. And the rushing attack hasn't been great this year. So, yeah.
And especially in drafting, they always seem to just get the wrong guy right before another team gets the right guy at that exact same position. Like, it felt like the cherry on top was this Quentin Johnston situation, where the 2 wide receivers taken immediately after him, and Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison, are far and away just better talents. And you're just sitting here just going like, how do you miss on not only 1 decent wide receiver, but 2? And you draft in a string of 4 straight wide receiver drafts, wide receivers drafted, you pick the worst one, and you were the second one to pick. Yeah, that's just the cherry on top. Like, you got to draft better. You got to like be a better GM there, and maybe that's more on scouts than him. But hey, he has the final, call on most of these draft picks.
Well, so I didn't have an issue with Quentin Johnston to the Chargers, though. I kind of did based off what they had already, because Quentin Johnston is essentially the same thing as Mike Williams.
Yeah.
I
think Zay Flowers would have been a perfect fit. His speed, his good
cross. Yeah, I think they needed to draft one of those two as a slot receiver. But yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's going to be one of the most coveted, if not the most coveted position in football.
Belichick?
No.
I've heard Brian Flores, and I really hope we don't lose him.
I think Mr. Spanos is going to go with an offensive-minded coach.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to get the most out of Justin Herbert. They weren't able to win while he was on his rookie deal, and now they've signed him. So they need to figure out, and it's going to be really tough. I believe they're $50 million or so over the cap for next season.
Yeah, they're going to have to make some very deep cuts in this offseason.
So they're going to have to get a lot younger, cut a lot of people, and unfortunately, they're going to have to. If I were them, I mean, I would try to trade him. But Khalil Mack is the number one guy I think they're going to get rid of, just based off salary. Mm-hmm. Keenan Allen, I could see Keenan Allen being gone as well.
Austin Eckler, I think they're going to try to see what they can get for him.
He's going to be a free agent.
Oh, he is? Oh, yeah, he's going to walk. They're not going to re-sign him.
Yeah, he's a free agent, I believe.
Yeah. So this new coach is going to come in to a bad cap situation with their best defensive player, their best wide receiver, and starting running back leaving the team. Like, it's going to be a cleanup job for whoever comes in after Staley.
But you still have Herbert. You're still going to have Herbert.
Nah, they're trading him to the Vikings.
You're still going to have Joey Bosa. You're still going to have Derwin James. Those are your three pillars of the team right now.
Mm-hmm. Herbert would look good in purple, though. I'm just saying.
Do you want to give up 5 first-round picks?
No, I don't see, even if we did offer that, I still don't see the Chargers even balking at it.
All right, let's go to the playoff scenarios because there's a lot of them, even though it's only 4 teams or 5 teams that can clinch this weekend. So the 49ers, they are the first team to have an opportunity to clinch their division this week. Pretty simple. They either win or tie at the Cardinals, or they have the Rams lose as they host the Commanders. Now we get to the fun ones.
Oh, yeah.
Ravens, Eagles, Lions, and Cowboys can all clinch playoff berths this weekend. Some simple, others not. The Ravens, kind of not. So they have quite a lot of scenarios that mix and match teams here. So all of them include a win. And then they can have the Broncos lose or tie, combined with a Bills loss or tie, a Browns loss or tie, a Steelers loss or tie, or a Texans loss or tie. So those are the four scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
The next 3, win plus a Bills loss or tie, and Browns loss or tie, Steelers loss or tie, or a Texans loss or tie. So there's another 3. And then the last 2 here, win, a Browns loss or tie, and a Steelers loss or tie, and a Steelers Colts tie game. A win, a Texans loss or tie, and a Steelers Colts tie game. So don't know what the most likely scenario is there. The Broncos hosting or going to Detroit on Saturday. The Bills They are hosting the Cowboys. The Browns are hosting Chicago. Steelers going to Indy on Saturday afternoon. The Texans, they are in Tennessee. And that is all the teams that you need to know for Ravens fans.
Mm.
For the Philadelphia Eagles, clinching a playoff berth, there's pretty simple win. That's all I got to do. Win or tie on Monday night in Seattle. However, they don't have to win to get into the playoffs this week. They can have help. Packers loss plus a Falcons loss or tie. And then either have the Rams lose or tie, or have the 49ers win or tie and the Lions win.
Mm.
So the Packers are hosting the Bucks. Falcons are in Carolina. In Carolina. And I mentioned the 49ers in Arizona, the Lions hosting the Broncos. Other ones, the Bucks loss plus a Vikings loss or tie. And either a Rams loss or tie, 49ers win or tie, and a Lions win or tie there. Mentioned the Bucks are in Green Bay. The Vikings in Cincinnati tomorrow. The Vikings loss or tie plus a Falcons loss or tie and a Rams loss or tie. Vikings loss or tie, Falcons loss or tie, and a 49ers win or tie, and a Lions win. The Bucks Packers tie and a Rams loss or tie. A Bucks Packers tie plus a 49ers win or tie, and a Lions win. So if the Vikings could help me out, Jimmy, that'd be great.
Maybe next week.
The Lions can clinch a playoff berth with a win plus a Seahawks loss or tie, Packers loss or tie. The Lions, by the way, have 16 ways to clinch a playoff berth this week. So Seahawks loss or tie, plus a Packers loss or tie, Vikings loss or tie, and a Rams loss or tie. That's 3 out of 16. Win plus a Rams loss or tie, Vikings loss or tie, and a Bucks loss. Rams loss or tie, Falcons loss or tie, and a Packers loss. Rams loss or tie, Vikings loss or tie, and a Falcons loss or tie. A win, a Packers Bucks tie, and a Rams loss or tie. And then if the Lions happen to tie the Broncos, these next scenarios kick in with they clinch a berth with a Bucks loss, Seahawks and Rams losses, Packers, Seahawks, Rams losses, Rams, Seahawks, Falcons losses, Packers, Seahawks loss, and a Falcons loss or tie. Vikings, Seahawks, Rams loss. Packers loss, Rams loss, Falcons loss or tie, and a Saints loss or tie. Packers, Bucks tie, plus a Vikings loss or tie. These are the last 3. Tie plus a Packers loss, Packers, Bucks tie, and a Vikings loss. And then a Seahawks loss and a Rams tie, or a Seahawks loss, Falcons loss or tie, or a Rams loss and a Falcons loss or tie. Hope you got all that down. Which team? Oh, the only team that we haven't said who's playing them yet, the Saints. They're hosting the Giants for that one scenario that they fit into. The Cowboys is also pretty simple. All they need to do to clinch a berth is a win or a tie. However, they don't have to win. They can still get in this weekend with a Rams loss or tie, Seahawks loss or tie. Packers loss plus a Rams loss or tie and a Falcons loss or tie. Packers loss plus a Falcons loss or tie and a Seahawks loss or tie. Packers loss plus a Falcons loss or tie and a Lions win or tie. Bucks loss plus a Vikings loss or tie and a Rams loss or tie. Bucks loss plus a Vikings loss or tie and a Seahawks loss or tie. Bucks loss plus a Vikings loss or tie and a Lions win or tie. Bucks loss plus a 49ers win or tie and a Lions win or tie. Bucks loss plus a Lions win or tie and a Rams loss or tie. A Packers Bucks tie plus either a Rams loss or tie, Seahawks loss or tie, or a Lions win or tie. Or if the Seahawks lose or tie and the Vikings lose, and then the Cowboys win a strength of victory tiebreaker over the Falcons. So there you go. That was a lot. That was a lot on the mind. IR return, two guys. The Giants, they opened the practice window for tight end Darren Waller. So Mr. DeVito getting a weapon back there for the stretch run. Giants trying to make it in. 1 game out, the G-men are. They're coming, as Dion likes to say. The Lions, they are going to open the practice window for safety CJ Gardner-Johnson next week. So that would be big for the Detroit defense coming into the playoffs. IR, the Browns, they play safety Grant Delpit on IR. Luckily for him, he got his money beforehand.
Got that money before the for what's the word I'm looking for? Before the MRI finished.
Yeah, so he signed a 3-year, $36 million extension last week. The Titans, they placed defensive tackle Kyle Pecco and corner Christian Fulton on IR. Panthers, they placed tight end Hayden Hurst on IR, dealing with that amnesia issue that he had after getting concussed against the Bears in early November there. Injuries, the Bears defensive end Unique Ngakoue, he is done for the year, broke his ankle on Sunday. Browns, after losing Grant Delpit, they also are going to lose defensive end Ogbania Okoronkwo with a pec injury, possibly for the season. They're not sure yet, but I haven't heard anything definitive on whether he is out for the year or not. And good news for the Steelers. They got both their linebackers back the other day. TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, both clearing concussion protocol. And they both will play tomorrow. In and outs, the Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson dealing with a chest injury. Listed as questionable but expected to play. And also for Minnesota, running back Alexander Madison, he is out. For the Colts, running back Jonathan Taylor dealing with his thumb injury. He is once again out tomorrow. Broncos tomorrow, they are going to be without linebacker Nick Benito dealing with a knee injury and tight end Greg Dulcich with a hamstring. Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill dealing with his ankle injury suffered on Monday. He's officially listed as questionable this weekend. Texans are in doubt. Quarterback C.J. Stroud has not cleared concussion protocol yet. He is listed as doubtful on the injury report. Davis Mills expected to get the start in Tennessee there. The Commanders, they ruled out running back Brian Robinson with a hamstring injury. Chiefs did the same with running back Isaiah Pacheco with a shoulder injury. He had a cleanup surgery on his shoulder. Expected to be back next week, though. Packers running back A.J. Dillon deal with a broken thumb. He announced that he broke his thumb on Monday in the game there. And his teammate, running back Aaron Jones, they are both listed as questionable. Saints wide receiver Chris Olave is questionable, as is Texans wide receiver Nico Collins. So this is interesting. Fantasy playoffs start this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are people doing with these running backs right now?
You're starting third strings at this point.
JT, Alexander Madison, Brian Robinson, Isaiah Pacheco, A.J. Dillon, and Aaron Jones all out. 6 big-time running backs And also, you got the receivers. Obviously, no one's worrying about Justin Jefferson. He's going to play. But you got the status of Tyreek Hill. You got the status of Chris Olave and Nico Collins as well. Big guys, and obviously, of course, C.J. Stroud not expected to play either. So that's a lot of big name players that some teams might make some interesting things happen in fantasy playoffs. I'm not worried. Not worried. Especially in my standard league where I have a bye. It's a great time. Thank God I have a bye because I have Jonathan Taylor and Tyreek Hill. So need that. Releases, the Broncos, they waived edge rusher Ronnie Perkins, and the Bucks waiving former draft pick running back Keyshawn Vaughn. Couple signings. The Browns, they officially signed quarterback Joe Flacco to the active roster. 1 year, $4.05 million. We'll give Joe a cha-ching on that one.
He deserves it.
Incentivized deal here, so $75,000 per win. He gets $250,000 for a wild card game win, $500K for winning a divisional round matchup, $1 million if they win the AFC Championship, and $2 million if they win the Super Bowl.
Let's go, Joe. Let's make some money.
And the Commanders, they claimed corner Q, you're my boy Blue, Kelly. Waivers from the Packers. I love saying that every time I say his name.
Love that movie.
You have to say it.
You're my boy, Blue.
College pick standings. Yeah, you beat us up last week. Nice by one.
Coming back.
4-1, 3-2 for Logan and I.
Who did I get?
So last week, you won your only lone wolf, Army. Yeah, Army right over Navy by less than an inch, I would say.
Skin of my teeth, man.
And then I didn't have any lone wolves. Logan went 1-1. He lost South Dakota against North Dakota State, but he did get Albany over Idaho in the FCS playoffs. He's been riding the Danes. He's not riding the Danes this week, I can tell you that. But here we go. Starting with the bowl games, Myrtle Beach Bowl. This is hosted at Coastal Carolina's campus. Georgia Southern, 3-point favorites against Ohio. Yeah, I'm going with the Eagles. For one, it's a shorter trip for them. Statesboro, Georgia to Myrtle Beach is not that far. Coming from Athens, Ohio to Myrtle Beach, that's a lot farther. And also, I'm going with the team that I know has their quarterback, Curtis Rourke, transferring out of Ohio. Not sure how they're going to look on offense without him, so I'm rolling with the Eagles here. Total is 48.5. I like the under. 11 a.m. ESPN and ESPN Plus. I know you're going to get up to watch this game at 10 a.m. Central, Jimmy.
I'm going to get up and go grocery shopping. Actually,
you better be streaming it.
No, I don't think I can, man. I think I just
ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus.
I don't have ESPN Plus.
Well, you got to get it.
Or I could do something else to watch it.
R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. This one is at the Superdome. Jacksonville State, 2.5-point favorites against Louisiana. Talking about geographics, yeah, Louisiana is right there. I don't know how far it is from Lafayette to New Orleans, but I'm sure it's not that far. And it's definitely not as far as going from Jacksonville, Alabama to New Orleans, which still isn't that far either.
No, it's still relatively close.
Yeah, these teams might have two of the shortest trips to their bowl game, combined mileage anyways, between two bowl teams. But anyways, yeah, we're all on the Gamecocks here. I like Zion Webb for Jacksonville State. And I think they're going to want it more. They were not supposed to be in a bowl game because this is their first year of FCS. So, or FBS, I mean, transitioning to the FBS. So, yeah, they were never supposed to be here. But there weren't enough bowl teams. So, Jacksonville State got in. And I think they're going to win, as we all do. 58.5. This is total on this one. I like the under. 2:15 p.m. ESPN, ESPN Plus. Avocados from Mexico. Cure Bowl.
Avocados from Mexico.
I knew you were going to do that.
Everyone knows we want to do it.
I knew it was coming. Miami, Ohio. The Red Hawks against Appalachian State. Let's see where this game is in Orlando at UCF's stadium. You, sir, are rolling with the Ohio team.
Got it.
I don't think that's what a Red Hawk sounds like. Anyways, yeah, you're lone wolfing the Red Hawks. And App State's favored by 6.5. I think I'm just going with the hotter team. I know it's kind of weird to say that because Miami, Ohio is the MAC champions. But App State, while they fell one game short of getting to while they lost and got blown out by Troy in the Sun Belt Championship game, I just think they're a better team than Miami, Ohio is. Now, Miami, Ohio has an excellent defense. I think this one's going to be a low-scoring game. But I'm rolling with App State. The Fighting Daniel Jeremiah's.
Great name.
Total is 41.5. And that's pretty low. But I'm going with the under. 3:30 ABC and ESPN Plus. The Isleta, New Mexico Bowl. This game is at University of New Mexico's stadium in Albuquerque, where our boy John Babington just became one of their athletic directors there.
Congrats, my friend.
And his undergraduate institution, the New Mexico State Aggies, finishing in second place, Conference USA, their first season there, pretty much hosting, I'm going to say, against Fresno State, the Bulldogs. I'm going with New Mexico State because I think we picked them a lot this year, and also not sure what the Fresno offense is going to look like. Logan Fife transferring out at quarterback. So, yeah, I'm going with Diego Pavia and the Aggies. 51.5 is the total. Give me the over. Why not? 5:45 p.m. ESPN and ESPN Plus. Starco Brands LA Bowl. UCLA against Boise State. The Bruins getting 4.5 here. Again, this is a home game. This one's played at SoFi Stadium. Yeah, give me the Bruins. Chip Kelly has still not gotten fired yet.
This may be a catalyst if he loses.
As much as people kept saying he was going to get fired, he hasn't got fired yet. And UCLA is facing the Mountain West champion Boise State Broncos. I don't think it matters. I think UCLA as the better team. They have more quarterbacks than Boise State does. More relevant quarterbacks, anyways. I would expect Ethan Garbers to start this game. If not, then Colin Schlee is still there, the former Kent State transfer. So, but Boise doesn't have their quarterback, Taylor Green, into the portal, transferring to Arkansas. So they're not going to have him. That's why I'm going with UCLA. And the fact that they're at a home game, literally in their same city.
Fair.
I don't know if those boys from Boise will know what to do in LA. 48.5 is the total here. Leaning on the over. 7:30 ABC and ESPN plus. Got to hit the over on a primetime game. Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. Cal against Texas Tech. 3.5 points for the Red Raiders here. Independence Bowl played in Shreveport, Louisiana. So again, kind of what my picking strategy for the bowl games, anyways, is that geography. I know you had a problem with that in third grade, Jimmy, but it's okay.
I still made it to law school. It's all good.
We'll get through. But yeah, Texas Tech would be the quote unquote home team in Shreveport here. Cal, that's a pretty far trip to go from Berkeley to Shreveport, but yeah, I think I'm going with Texas Tech, Joey McGuire, and co. I don't really have a reason. I think these teams are really close. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think the Red Raiders, the AP poll for most of this season held Texas Tech very highly in high regard. So yeah, I'm going with the Red Raiders. 58.5 is total here. I like the under. 9:15 ESPN and ESPN Plus. I got one more on Monday, the famous Toaster Bowl. I don't even know what that means, but I don't know what famous toastery is.
What is a toastery?
What is the company Famous Toastery? Like, I don't know. But Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers against Old Dominion, the Monarchs. Monarchs getting 2.5. And Logan rolling with ODU here. This was another iffy one, but as far as I know, Western Kentucky's quarterback is going to play in this game. I'm not exactly sure, but if he does, like, he's definitely the better quarterback. Austin Reed for WKU is by far the better choice at quarterback position in this game. So that's why I'm rolling with the Hilltoppers.
Not a bad pick.
54.5 is the total here. And I like the over. 2:30 on ESPN and ESPN Plus, right? Midday Monday. That's great.
Midday Monday Bowl.
Great time slot. All right, FCS Semifinals. Tonight is the first one. Number 5, Albany at number 1, South Dakota State. And, of course, we are all on the Jacks.
Yeah, come on. Let's bring
Go Jacks. They're going for back-to-back FCS national titles. They're 20-point favorites in South Dakota. So, yeah, I think that Brookings, South Dakota might be a cold one. Let's see what we got. Yeah, it's not bad. 41. Rainy, though. So might get some sloppy football. But, yeah, 20 points. It's a lot. I don't know if they'll cover that. We'll see what the wind looks like with how that game went last week against Villanova with 30-mile-an-hour winds. But, yeah, there's no one has been even close to South Dakota State except for, like, 2 games this year. And one of them was on the road. So, yeah, no. Logan's betraying his Danes, though. First time he hasn't picked them FCS playoffs this year.
It's going to be hilarious when they win.
No. You don't say that.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it.
Love the random movie stuff that we bring in.
That's sad.
And tomorrow, North Dakota State continues to be the only unseeded team to get this far at number 2 Montana. This thing has switched. This thing started off NDSU -1. It is now flipped to the home team and the number 2 seeded Grizz. Logan is going with the Grizz. And in Missoula tomorrow, it's supposed to be 35. So, again, not terrible. But you and I, we're going with old reliable.
You got to go with old reliable here. It's North Dakota State University. Come on.
I mean, they went into South Dakota, the number 3 seeded team, and absolutely demolished them 45-17 last week.
Why can't they go to Montana?
I don't – yeah. Montana's going to give them a game. Now, Montana's good, but I just don't know if you're going to stop this North Dakota State team because they have themselves believing that they are the old what we've known North Dakota State to be the last decade plus. And I think it's going to be a rematch of the national championship last year, South Dakota State and North Dakota State.
Oh, yeah.
Which would be wild. Those two states would go crazy because they hate each other.
Oh, they do. That's what I want. I want this matchup.
I forgot to say the total and the broadcast info. So tonight's game, Albany at South Dakota State, 48.5. I like the over. Game time temp is 30. Cloudy, though. It doesn't say any rain. This one tonight is at 7 p.m. ESPN 2 and ESPN Plus. And then tomorrow, this game right here, tomorrow, total for that one's 50.5. Again, I like the over. 37 degrees, sunny in Missoula, Montana. That one's at 4:30 p.m. ESPN 2 and ESPN Plus. NFL pick standings. Yeah, it wasn't great.
Wasn't good.
Was not great.
I let Logan back in.
And yeah, your lead is down to 1, sir.
Like that.
We don't need to talk about my picks.
Hey, sometimes we have bad weeks.
It hasn't been great the last two. 4-8 and 4-10. But Logan went 3-0 in his dogs. That's and his lone wolf. So he got the Saints right over the Panthers. Why did we give him?
We giving him this.
Right. He got the Bucks right over the Falcons. And then he got the Bengals right over the Colts. I went 1-2. I lost Raiders. I lost the Raiders against the Vikings.
Saw that one.
I got the Bills over the Chiefs, and then I lost the Chargers against the Broncos. You got your only one, the Cowboys over the Eagles.
I had a good feeling.
I don't know if I put that one in to the dog picks.
You better.
I think. Yeah, now it makes more sense, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. I might have to recalculate the dog standings number. Or the lone wolf number, I mean. Because it's tough to like gauge if the lone wolf wins and losses are right because we don't all have the same amount of games. So I can't like exactly correlate it to the actual standings. Anyways, what do we got this week? We got a triple header tomorrow.
Yeah, a triple header.
Starting with your Vikings at the Bengals. I am not picking the Vikings.
Come on. Join in on Mullins Mania.
Fight on, Cincinnati. I am not going with Nick Babyface Mullins.
Mullins Mania, baby.
I'm going with Mr. Browning. Browning and Browning at law is where I am going. Jake Browning's been playing some great football.
Yeah, I picked him
And
up on waivers. It's been great.
while the Vikings defense has been playing good,
Mm-hmm.
Bengals also have a pretty solid defense. And I don't trust Nick Mullins in his first start of the year. So, yeah.
But he's
On the
so
road.
precious.
Nope. On the road. Nope. Jake Browning.
Nah.
I mean, I hope the Vikings do win because I need all AFC North teams to lose and AFC playoff contenders to lose for the Steelers' sake. So total's 40.5 though. You going to under?
I'm going under.
I like the over. 1 p.m. on NFL Network. You have NFL Network?
No.
God damn. Steelers, not the Colts.
Woo!
Why are you doing this to me?
Because I just love hurting your feelings, Rusty.
Yeah, I just picked the Colts. I just picked the Steelers because I like the Steelers. There wasn't any.
Who doesn't love a good homer pick? Come on.
It's just like these teams are close, but I think no JT for Indy has really hurt them the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Moss has not been the same on the ground as he was earlier in the year. So, yeah, I'm going with the Steelers. They got to figure it out at some point. And it's Mitch Trubisky again. I don't know. The Steelers play usually well against Indy, though, for some reason.
I like beating up on them.
And by the way, good news for Georgia. Georgia linebacker Smile Munden is foregoing the NFL and returning to Athens next year. So at least they keep someone. They haven't been able to keep many guys, but we got Rico Flores, the wide receiver from Notre Dame. He is heading to UCLA. And that is it, I believe. There's another Georgia player in the transfer portal, but I've never heard of that guy. So, anyways, this game 42.5 under 4:30 NFL Network. Broncos at the Lions. It's crazy. We got 5, 7, and 6 teams playing tomorrow. But yeah, I'm going with the Lions. Right.
Frauds.
They are in Detroit.
They're frauds in Detroit. They're frauds in Detroit like they're frauds in any other stadium.
Eminem's probably going to be there. So, pull up.
Nah.
Anyways.
Broncos country.
I don't know. No.
Right.
I've liked what the Broncos have been doing, but the Lions are going to snap out of this thing. They lost against the Bears, for God's sake, last week. Like, they're not gonna lose another one this week. Not at home.
Yeah, they lost to the Packers at home.
Not at the Ford Field.
Oh, what an unbelievable home field advantage Ford Field is.
Anyways, 47.5 under.
Mm-hmm.
Under.
Plus,
the Broncos don't have Nick Bonito on defense, so there you go.
Yeah.
Who cares? He's the key. 8:15 on NFL Network.
They just need the power of friendship.
Falcons at the Panthers on Sunday.
We finally give up on the Panthers.
I think we learned.
Which is great because they are absolutely winning this week.
After 14 weeks, we finally learned. But yeah, I mean, the Falcons, they're right in there with the Bucks and Saints at 6 and 7 for the division, and also the wild card spots as well. So they needed a lot. The Panthers technically need it too, but yeah, Desmond Ritter played well last week,
Mm-hmm.
even in a loss. So
Did you see that tickets for this game were like 45 cents?
I didn't see the exact price, but I did get the notification that said they're very low. Yes.
I think they're back up to like $12 now, but still, it was like they were literally like pennies. At what point do the Panthers just pay people to show up to their stadium?
Yeah,
In 17.
I don't know. On Vivid Seats, you can get tickets to the game for $12. Yeah,
Road trip?
$13. Well, I'll be down that way, and I wonder what this game. How many dollars this game costs, bro? $10. If you want to come to Carolina, I'll be down there probably for the Week 18 game against the
I'll
Bucks.
see what I can do.
Against the Bucks.
Ooh,
It's date to be determined.
they are definitely flexing that somewhere.
I think it's well, I think that's the only reason is because they don't know the Sunday night game yet. But there's no Monday night. There's no Monday or Thursday night because they all play on Sunday on Week 18. So it's just who's going to play the Sunday night. They don't know yet. Not that one.
Please no.
But anyways,
You're America.
Total for this game 33.5. Over. It's gonna go over. I'm telling you.
Why not?
Jets at the Dolphins. No one believes in Zach Wilson, I see. Okay. Dolphins played like shit on Monday. I don't know what I watched, but sure. I think the Dolphins already beat the Jets, so they're looking for the season sweep. Yeah, they beat them on Black Friday. That's right.
Yeah,
they're looking for the season sweep here. Would have to believe a loss here for New York cancels Aaron Rodgers' comeback tour. But yeah, the Dolphins need this. They need this, and they need help to get up to the number 1 seed.
Yeah. But will December Dolphins take place this year like it did last year?
No. For one, because they won 2 weeks ago.
Still?
Which was still in December. Yeah.
Well, that was right. Yeah. Still. It's December.
Nope.
December Dolphins curse.
Total is 37.5. Over. I don't care if they're playing the Jets deep. Texans at the Titans. Let's go! Team that beat the Dolphins last week and crushed my heart. Will Levis at home. The Titans are fantastic. Totally different team. I think that win last week will also have them believing that they can beat anyone, anywhere. So, especially coming back home where they play a lot better. Give me the Titans. I don't know what y'all are smoking with the Texans.
Dude, General Mills.
Have you watched them the last 2 weeks?
General Mills. General Mills, baby.
For one, you have Davis Mills, who I was a big proponent of when he was the starting quarterback. Didn't go very well. And for two, they don't have Tank Dell out for the season. They might not have Nico Collins again this week. And yeah, it's not great. So yeah, give me the healthier team and team that's actually winning right now. 36.5 under 19 to 12. Bucks at the Packers. This is the game everyone needs to tie. Everyone needs this one to end in a tie. For a lot of the playoff clinching scenarios. But yeah, anyways, you, sir, are going against.
Gotta go against the grain.
Why are you picking Baker? Will he wake up dangerous for this game?
He's so freaking dangerous, dude.
Because he said he didn't wake up dangerous and they won last week. So
He's been constantly asleep since last game, and he's going to wake up very well rested and very dangerous.
But yeah, no, I just it's in Green Bay, and while we are getting this little heat, like resurgence of heat this weekend, I do not think it's going to matter. The Packers are a better football team than the Bucs are, and they must win for the fans to believe in them again, because losing to the Giants, it's a tough game to swallow.
I mean, Bucks got to win. They got to win that division. I mean, this is must
No,
win.
they don't. They don't have. No, they don't. They do not have to win that division, sir. The New Orleans Saints have to win that division.
Still have hope in David Carr.
Derek.
Oh, David's the older one. My bad.
42.5. What do you like for this one?
Oh, under, absolutely. The thing with the Packers for me is just both their running backs being injured was kind of big. Yeah.
But they're both questionable. They might play.
Yeah, but even with a broken thumb, that plays a lot in how you play as a running back.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Giants at the Saints. Why are you doing this?
The DeVito train never dies, baby.
Well, you should go to Jersey and buy a Tommy DeVito sandwich.
Oh, I will. Jayla Luna Mitsamaya, Mamma Mia Mitsabara. It's going to be beautiful. His agent's going to show up in an even more generic Italian mafia suit. It's going to be beautiful.
Um,
And again, I just don't believe in Derek Carr anymore. I mean, yeah, Derek Carr anymore. I don't think anyone does.
Yeah, did you know Sean Stellato, his agent, is getting inducted into the Italian Sports Hall of Fame?
I saw that. What a goat. Dude literally made his agent, not even Tommy DeVito, just his agent.
No, his agent, yeah.
Just for wearing his suit on the sideline. This dude's so great.
He's getting inducted for his sports business purposes. There's also some other very odd people getting inducted to that. There's a bocce player, which is the one guy's thing said like sports endurance is what he did. I was like, cool. So he ran cross country.
Dude, I did that in high school. That shit hurts.
Anyways, I like the Saints. They gotta win. They have to win the NFC South. And I think they're gonna get this one done. Got the win last week against Carolina. They can win this one as well. Giants are a beatable team, even though they're playing well. I think the Saints defense shuts it down.
Tommy Cutlets.
39.5.
Over.
Total. Yeah, I agree. Somewhere around that score of the Packers-Giants game, I like. Bears at the Browns.
Joe Flacco, man.
No one wanted to go on Chicago after they won last week, I see.
Nah.
But yeah, elite Joe Flacco is
elite. That's Super Bowl MVP Joe Flacco. You get that right. And future two-time Super Bowl MVP.
I don't recognize any wins by that team in purple and black. But anyways, yeah, the Browns are going to win. Justin Herbert's going to get sacked 7 times in this game.
Herbert's?
Justin Fields.
We are getting names wrong today.
Whatever his name is. It doesn't matter because he's not going to be there next year. So
he'll be a Falcon. Calling
it. Got him. Anyways, 38.5 is total for this game, and we are going with the under.
Dude, I'm going over. Come on, Joe Flacco is going to get 45 points by himself.
No. Chiefs at the Patriots. Do you remember that one time when this was the AFC Championship game matchup.
Remember when they had that unbelievable shootout in the regular season? I think it was like in 2018 where the final score was like 45-42.
That's the same season that this was the AFC
Oh,
Championship.
yeah, that's right. It was the same season. That's right. I remember when this matchup was amazing for casual fans. What happened?
Well, I probably shouldn't say anything because the Patriots beat the Steelers last week. But anyway, yeah, the Chiefs, they need a win in the worst way.
Yeah, they need a win. Like, we need air to breathe, man. Like, it's getting bad in that locker room, I'm guessing. There's a lot of just question marks everywhere. Just a lot of lost confidence.
Good. I hate the Chiefs. It's fine.
Who doesn't at this point?
Let's flip our picks. Let's all go with our boy Colin Schultz and the Patriots.
Dude, Bailey Zappi?
The Zapster, he gets them
The
sometimes.
Zapster. He's going to strike.
37 and a half. We've literally gone down 1 point each game. Giants Saints 39 and a half. Bears Browns 38 and a half. 37 and a half here for Chiefs Patriots.
I'm going to go crazy and go over because the Chiefs are just going to try to have like a bad game with it.
I like the over too.
Yeah. It's going to be like 42-3. 42-7.
4:05 p.m. slot here. 49ers at the Cardinals. Get it!
You fuck. You Eagles fuck.
Did you not see how many games I'm down right now?
You gotta make
You
up
had to lose. I'm 8 games back from you. It's not as bad as college football where you and I are way
like
too many games
double
back.
digits.
But I'm 8 games back right now out of the lead. I got to do something. And you always pick double-digit home dogs. That's the rule. So, yeah. Arizona Cardinals. Let's go, baby. Kyler Murray's about to be lights out. 70% completion, 360 yards, 4 total touchdowns, 2 rushing, 2 passing. And they're going to beat the 49ers 28-14. They beat the Cowboys.
All right.
In week 3 or whatever, 6.
I'll give you it.
48.5 is a total. And let's get the over, even though my score does not add up to more than 48.5. But Commanders at the Rams. No one wanted to do that one. I see.
No one wanted to be bold.
Sam Howell. But no, the Rams are playing well. They should have won that game in Baltimore last week. Should have also gotten penalties called on that team.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Matthew Stafford, he's got the offense really going right now, and they should get this one done at home and see what they can do, what the other teams do, to see if they can get into one of the 2 playoff slots this week or not. 50.5 here. I like the over.
Ooh, I was going to say under.
I like the over. Rams are going to score 34 by themselves. The lone 425 game this week, Cowboys at the Bills. Why do you do this? Why do you pick the teams that I hate?
I'm not going to lie to myself. I'm surprised I'm lone wolfing this, to be quite honest.
You know why you're lone wolfing? The
Why?
Cowboys are 7-0 at home. They're 3-3 on the road, with one of those 3 losses to the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
So that's why.
How about
the Bills just went into Kansas City and beat the Chiefs. So that's why as well. I believe the Buffalo Bills are coming. They're not going to win the AFC East, but I do think they're probably one of the most dangerous wild card teams that there is. So, yeah. Give me the Bills. Dallas, is just average on the road. So 50.5.
Over.
Or, yeah, 50.5. Sure.
Let's go over. Come on. Join me.
Sunday Night Football, the Ravens at the Jags. And, yeah.
Not really surprised.
Unfortunately, for my mentee's sake, he will do a lot of screaming at the TV this weekend. Yeah, I can't take the Jags. No Christian Kirk, and it's a tough loss to Cincinnati. Yeah, I just think I think the Ravens are gonna get this one. I hope they don't, but 42.5 here. Under 820 on NBC. Do something about it, Trevor.
Hey, I picked your team.
Eagles at the Seahawks. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised this isn't a bigger spread, even though what the Eagles have done the last 2 weeks. This is the game though for Philly. Like, this is the one they have to win, because the next 3 are a lot more winnable than this game is going to Seattle. Not sure who we're going to get on the other side. Geno, I expected to be Drew Lock based off the fact that they said Geno's groin injury was a 2-week injury. This would be the 2nd week. So no clue, though, exactly. I'm sure we won't know until this weekend, like tomorrow or Sunday even. But, yeah, Eagles need the win. Seahawks technically do need the win, too.
I think the Seahawks probably need this more than the Eagles do, because Seahawks have lost, 4 out of their last 5, dipping out of the playoffs. Like, if they lose this, there's a decent argument that their season's probably over.
It's fine. Everyone else will just lose around them. It's fine. I mean, you're not going to get – the issue for Seattle is, right, you have the Packers-Bucks playing. The Packers-Bucks and the Giants-Saints, those are 2 key games in that 6-7 wild card. Really more 7, because the Vikings are 7-6, not 6-7. But the 7 seed, those 2 games are key, because you're going to get – unless we get that tie that I've been talking about all show.
We're desperate for it.
With the Packers and Bucks. One of those 2 teams is going to be 7-7. So more than likely, whoever wins the Packers-Bucks game is going to jump into 7 seed. And then everyone else is going to have to try to keep up. So, yeah, I agree with that sentiment. But no, Philly, they're going to turn it around. This is where that late season push for Philly starts. So they kind of hit their lull earlier than they usually do, which I'm fine with, but kicking into gear here. 47.5 here. I'm leaning on the under. 8:15 ABC ESPN Plus. Before we get to best bets of the week, love the weekly Adam Schefter tweet with all the players being out. So we already mentioned Alexander Mattison. Brian O'Neill also out for Minnesota. Steelers quarterback Kenny Pickett. Colts right tackle Braden Smith. Lions quarterback Hendon Hooker. Why is he on that list? He's not going to play. Like, even if he was healthy. Big one. Another injury for Texans. So linebacker Will Anderson Jr., linebacker Blake Cashman for Houston. Titans defensive tackle Jeffrey Wilson and wide receiver Kyle Phillips. Chiefs left tackle Donovan Smith. Patriots running back Ramondre Stevenson. Bucks corner Carlton Davis and defensive end William Golston. Saints rookie running back Kendre Miller. Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers and wide receiver Jason Brownlee. I don't remember what team Deshaun Elliott plays for, but he's out. I think the Dolphins. Dolphins safety Deshaun Elliott, because guard Robert Hunt also out. Can't remember who Noah Sewell plays for. I know his brother Nephi Sewell plays for the Saints, but Noah Sewell I can't remember. Bears. Oh, I think he plays for the Bears maybe. And then Bears wide receiver Equanimeous St. Brown. Browns defensive lineman Ogbania Okoronkwo and safety Juan Thornhill. Falcons right tackle Caleb McGarry and defensive tackle Kentavious Street. Panthers tight end Ian Thomas. 49ers defensive tackle Eric Armstead and linebacker Oren Burks. Tight end Ross Dwelly, defensive tackle Javon Hargrave, running back Elijah Mitchell. See, all those Niners are out. The Cardinals got a chance. The Cardinals have a chance. Cowboys defensive tackle Jonathan Hankins. Bills defensive end AJ Epinesa, safety Micah Hyde. Packers corner, Jags corner Tyson Campbell and safety Andre Sisco all out. Best bets of the week. Here we go. Jets plus 9.5 at the Dolphins. Yeah, I went 0-3 last week. Wasn't great. After I went 0-3 after going 3-0 the week before.
Yeah, win some, you lose some.
But I mean, December has been pretty solid. 5-4.
Take it.
But yeah, last week, all not even close. The Texans minus 3.5 at the Jets. That was not close. Lions minus 3 at the Bears. Also not very close. And then the Dolphins minus 13 at home against the Titans was a great time. But this week, yeah, I'm going with the Jets in Miami. I just think the defense will keep it close. And with the uncertainty around Tyreek Hill, I think they'll be able to cover 9.5. Obviously, I didn't pick them to win, as we all picked Miami, but I do think 9.5 is a little bit much for a Jets team that has a really good defense. Going with the Browns. Does Caroline know this? I'm picking the Browns as my best bet.
She gives a thumbs up seal of approval.
Minus 3. Again, I'm going against the Bears 2 weeks in a row with minus 3 spreads. The Lions last week, the Browns this week. So if this one doesn't hit, I can never pick against the Bears in a best bet again. So yeah, minus 3 at home against the Bears. And then the Eagles, my third one, minus 3 at the Seahawks. I think that's a low enough number. Like I said, I was kind of surprised that it wasn't a higher number, even despite the Eagles' struggles the last 2 with being Drew Lock. Even though Drew Lock played very well on the road,
actually looked solid
in San Fran last week. I still think minus 3 Eagles can cover that. But 19-23 overall. I still have, I believe, a better winning percentage than Stanford Steve does on game day. He was terrible this year. They will never replace the Bear. Yeah. Last week, 0-1. We didn't get one. No one got a lock. No one got a lock. And it's not great. It's not.
They're very mediocre.
Logan is the last one above 500 at 8-6. You and I still sitting there, one game back at 7-7. Logan lost. He was on the my best bet with me. Or actually, you and Logan were on my best bet of the Texans. That's probably why you lost, because I picked
of course.
Texans against the Jets, and then one of my other best bets, the Lions, was mine. They lost to the Bears. So here we go this week, though. The Falcons is what Logan is picking. I don't know how confident you can be in Atlanta Falcons. They're playing the Panthers, though. We
It's the
know
Panthers. I was
we
going to
know how
say
that
it's the
goes. We
Panthers.
know how that goes. But yeah, he actually doesn't have any lone wolves in NFL this week, so that's interesting.
That's worrisome.
But he went 3-0 last week, so he's like, I'm good this week. I have 3, you have 4, so.
I'm either going to widen the gap or Logan's taking first for me.
I am going with the Browns again. Best bet and a lock.
Let's go.
We're killing it in Cleveland. Again, I swear to God, if the Bears burn me twice in a row, that's going to be bad. And you, sir, are taking the technicality route and going the Miami Dolphins because they're half a point short of not being able to be considered a lock. So you're lucky.
I gotta get back in the win column some way.
You're lucky there at 9.5. And yeah, for dogs, Logan has taken your spot. He has overtaken first place in the dog standings. The only one to win last week, and he got an outright win as well. The Broncos plus 2.5 at the Chargers. You and I were on the Panthers train last week. They were covering for most of the game. We had it. We had plus 5.5. It was great.
We're living.
And then the
large.
fourth quarter happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, at least you're still at 500, dude, and one game back. Like I haven't gotten a win in a dog in a month. I've lost 3 straight, and the last one was I got the Vikings to cover against the Broncos in week 11. Technically, you're on a worse streak.
Yeah.
You've lost 4 straight.
Yeah.
And you haven't had or no, that's you. Never mind. That's me. You're the one that is on a 3-game losing streak, and you got the Vikings covering in week 11.
Woo!
Bro, I haven't had a win. Since week 5.
Ouch.
The Jets plus 1.5 at the Broncos was an outright win. And I've had my 2 ties in between that. The Browns covered against the Seahawks and the Chargers covered against the Lions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. My teams that I've picked in dogs have lost 9 straight. Bears against the Vikings in week 6. Lions against the Ravens in week 7. Browns against the Seahawks in week 8. Week 9 was the Dolphins against the Chiefs. Chargers against the Lions in week 10. Steelers against the Browns in week 11. Bucks against the Colts in week 12. Eagles against the Niners in week 13. And last week, the Panthers against the Saints. So here we go. Logan going with the Texans plus 4 at the Titans. Again, I'm lone wolfing Tennessee, so let's go Titans. I didn't know who to pick, so I'm going with one of my teams. The Steelers plus 1.5 at the Colts tomorrow. Sure, let's get it done. I probably just killed the Steelers' chances of winning because I picked them. You are going with your lone wolf plus 3.5 for the Bucks in Green Bay as everyone eggs your apartment door.
Of course. Don't hit our stockings. We put nice stockings on the door.
Going against the state team.
I have to.
That's the show for today. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for the new viewers that watch us on Instagram. Pretty solid that we can do that. But yeah, next week, talking week 16. Have all your NFL and NCAA news, game recaps, game previews. At FAA Podcast on X and Instagram, at FAA_bets on X as well. FAApodcast.com is our website. You can check us out here. Facebook, YouTube, X, and Instagram. as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, etc. Thank y'all for watching. We did not get a freeze today, which is great. I think it's Instagram's fault. I think it's Instagram that did it. Yeah. All right. Happy bowl season. Happy Football Friday. And we will see y'all back on Tuesday.